Hi, everybody. This is Marissa Polselli. I am so happy to be here with you for this episode of The Power of Women Using Their Voices. And I am incredibly honored to have as my guest Christine Mello. She is, besides just being a fabulous human being, she is an international cellist. She performs classical music in all different formats, from orchestra to musical theater throughout the East Coast and throughout Europe as well. She is also an educator, pioneering a brand of classical music education that is based on mindfulness, and we'll be getting into that as well. And she's an advocate for classical music, blazing a new trail for a new way to approach it. I'm going to let her talk more about that. Christine, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's so wonderful to talk to you always. If anyone doesn't know, Marissa and I have known each other for a very long time.
Really long. I'm pretty old.
We go back to old days in South Philly, but
Yes.
It's so wonderful. I am like absolutely blessed to have you in my life. So thank you.
Oh, likewise. The feeling is very mutual. You are an inspiration to me. And I invite you now, Chris, to fill in our audience on anything about yourself that I left out of your introduction that you would like to tell us about.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Mello. I'm a cellist in Philadelphia, but I perform anywhere you need and whatever music you have. I believe in the power of music being for everyone. And I say that as someone who grew up not only in an inner city at a time during change in the 90s in Philadelphia, but also as an abused child. I was abused as a kid, and I'm okay with sharing that. And someone who grew up absolutely under the poverty line. I don't know how else to put that. Absolutely despondent, under the poverty line. And a group of strong women took a chance on me, saw that I had potential in some way to put my life on track, and taught me how to play the cello. And mostly because it rhymed with my last name. But no, that's not. Taught me that they believed in me and shared classical music with me at a time or when other opportunities would not have existed. Mm-hmm. And so here I am doing the same, or at least attempting to do the same, and sharing that you can come from whatever background you want. The privilege don't need to have classical music alone, and we need to change that.
Fantastic. Thank you. Can you share a little bit? I know I'm already going off script.
Sorry.
Can you share a little bit about your first experience with classical music and how that was life-changing for you?
Oh man, it's funny because you were in my life. So I was a kid. I've always had an inclination towards art. You know, obviously I'm coming live from my sewing room.
Right.
I have a whole room devoted to sewing and yarn, and crafting in general. But music was something that was not attainable. I came from a single parent household, and lessons were just simply not attainable. Having an actual instrument was like a dream. It was like something that couldn't happen. I had a broken piano in the house that wasn't in tune, that I could try a few things on, and some books. Without the access of the internet, without funding for a teacher, there I was. So the high school that I attended, which was St. Maria Goretti Catholic High School for Girls in South
Yay, SMG.
Very, very, very lucky to have come there on scholarship. Again, powerful women saw what I had, or not just what I had, but what the potential could have been. Me and other young girls who needed some guidance. And, they gave me this instrument to play on, and I only took it because it reminded me of my last name. I had friends playing violin. There was a lot of people playing violin. I wanted to, of course, be different. I mean, look at me, I got to be different. And they didn't have the viola, so I chose cello, which rhymes with my last name. That's my real last name. I remember in the first weeks playing, feeling very like this is new to me, but I feel thrilled by it. But I can tell you that it was the next year. The first time I got to play classical music, I was playing for Temple Youth Symphony under the direction of Gary White. Hi, Gary, by the way. He does Philadelphia Symphonia right now. Awesome. And we were playing Sibelius' Finlandia, which is really funny because I got to play it again this summer as I kind of rekindled myself with classical music and made peace with a lot of things. And it's a wonderful piece. And it was like, it opened my mind up to all sorts of things. The next thing I knew, I was going to the local Pathmark, the grocery store at the time, going through the dollar bin to try to find anything, any album that looked like it had somebody's name on it that must be classical. So I came home with albums from Vivaldi, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven, and my mother would come home every week with another album that we would save up for it, whether it was $1, $5, whatever, of different albums of classical so I could listen. And I've been just absolutely electrified since.
Incredible. And what a powerful testimony to the importance of community and lifting each other up and making roads to access where there previously might not have been.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Had I not had this instrument to anchor me, I'm not sure I would be here right now. I'm here 38 years old, or I'm sorry, 38 next year. And I'm okay with saying that because I did not believe I would make it, because I was on a complete path of destruction. And at 14, someone handed me this instrument and ensured that I had lessons from someone from Philadelphia Chamber Orchestra come in, and Curtis come in every week for me and my friends. It wasn't just me. They did this for everybody at that school that took these instruments, and told you, I don't care that you started at 14. I don't care that you have holes in your shoes. I don't care that you can't afford anything. We're going to teach you how to play this properly, and do it with kindness and love so that you can help somebody else later on with the talents that you have that we helped unlock. And when I graduated from Goretti, they gave me a cello because I couldn't afford one.
Incredible.
And it got me through the next couple of years. Hold your breath, because I got another cello from a teacher. When my cello finally could not sustain me anymore, and the teacher I was studying with at the time, Medawat's wonderful, Orlando Cole out of Curtis, wonderful human beings, gave me a cello so I could continue on my career path until I could afford to buy my own, which they made sure I had help with from Menig's in Center City, if anybody knows that place. And until, literally it was 12 years ago I was able to afford my first cello.
Wow.
12.
Wow.
So.
And that's amazing. That's the heart of a teacher, for sure. And I know that you incorporate that into your teaching. So, Christine, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what it means to you, especially coming from the background as you've explained it to us, what it means to you to be a woman who is using her voice.
That's a super powerful question, and I really, really love it. And I think I told you before we started, I struggled a little bit with this one because voice means so many different things. And so for me, as a performer, and especially as a coach and an educator, my voice, or rather in this case, what I really want to talk about is the power of my words, if that's okay.
Sure.
And how I use them has the power to impact someone greatly. And that can be negative or positive. And someone could be on their own track, their own healing. And for me, I heal in so many ways through music. I really do. We all have had trauma. We have to face our trauma. I face mine through music and education in so many ways. And the way that people speak to me can influence the way I perform and learn. I either approach something with an open mindset, like, hey, I'm not doing well at this now, but I'm going to be better at this later. Or, hey, this scares me, but I'm okay to take this challenge. Or I can immediately shut down and say, I'm not any good at this, and start old behaviors and habits that are hurtful. And they not only hurt me, but the community of people that love and care about me, or are responsible for my care, because that's a thing too. So let me explain. See, I taught high school, and I know you know this, but I taught high school for a really long time. And
I'm in that club.
Yeah, I know you did too. And I learned that, let me go back. So I taught high school for a really long time, and it was a time I absolutely adored. And I often say I healed through education. I came in broken, and those kids healed me. And I know they're watching, by the way. Go back to class. In here.
Play hooky for just like another couple minutes.
Go back to class. I'm pretty sure. What is it? 10:10. Third period ain't over yet. You wait. Fourth period's coming. 10:26. So I'm sorry, I'm probably yelling into the camera. I learned I had to have a lot of difficult conversations with kids, and what I learned along the way is the things I can say to them can completely change the outcome. right?
Yeah.
I have had to see everything imaginable, and I know you did too. Everything imaginable. Seeing my own pain in kids, seeing my own abuse in kids, seeing worse than I had ever imagined. Kids making bad decisions that you have to help them correct. And in that moment, I can either help someone grow and in turn help myself grow. Because, by the way, I'm not coming from a place of total growth, man. We're all on the same level.
It's all reciprocal. Yeah.
Right. And me helping another person and using kindness in my words to help them grow means I grow. So either in that moment I can help someone grow, or I can shut them down completely. And our voices are that powerful. Your voice is that powerful. My voice, everyone's voice is that powerful. And how we use it has to be from a place of love. How dare I use it in a place to hurt? Now, let me be clear here. Kindness and power are not they're not opposites. They don't go against one another. I want to challenge the idea that you don't have to be mean and cruel and a part of this cult of perfection, constant inhumanity in order to be great. You can be both. It's okay.
Right.
You can be great at your craft and kind to other people and lift other people up around you. And dare I say, the combination of those two things are so important. I was so lucky that people were kind to me when I was young, at a time when I was most vulnerable, that made me grow, give me the confidence to be here today and use my voice to help other people, either through education or performance. Because either when I approach someone to teach, I approach from a place of authority. And that's really important. That's really special. I come from a place of trusted authority. And that's not just from my craft, but from my spirit and my soul and the way I approach you. I have to respect you and bow into the light that's in you. I'm expecting you to do that to me. I need to do that to you as well and help you and be realistic with what we're working with here, but always do it with kindness. How could I purposely be cruel to someone else and expect my heart to grow from that?
Right. And even just the connection between human beings, what we put out is so much what's going to come back to us. Part of what you were saying reminded me of a study that I'd read about, it was with grade school students, and they had two different plants. And one plant, the students, did you know what I'm talking about? One plant, the students said mean things to, and they teased it. They told it was ugly and it wouldn't grow. And the other plant, they complimented and they said it was beautiful and it would thrive. And literally that was the only difference in the way those plants were treated. They both had the same sunlight, the same water, the same plant food. And the plant that was abused verbally withered. And the plant that was praised and complimented thrived. And if on a biological level, if that can happen, on a metaphysical level, if that happens with plants, how much more so does that happen with human beings?
And we all know that depression is real and it has physical effects as well. So if you see someone struggling or shaking, there's some trauma there. Something happened. No one is born into this world feeling terrible unless, of course, they have a chemical imbalance, which we know about, we're learning about. A lot of times, depression or self-doubt is brought out by trauma. Not necessarily because we're bad or anything like that or something's wrong, but sometimes it's from trauma. Sometimes it's not. It's important to know the difference. My job is when I work with someone or when someone comes to my performance is to make them feel loved, respected, understood, heard.
Yeah.
And then I'm there for them as well as myself. I'm not there on stage for myself. Yeah, I love being there, but I'm there for them too. I'm there to help you feel something and show my soul so that you can feel comfortable showing your soul to me.
And that so beautifully ties into, because I know you so well, and I've worked with you on putting together the messaging that expresses the beauty of what you do and the super unique place you come from.
It ties in, for all the help you've done with it.
It ties in so beautifully with what I think is one of the most remarkable things about you, which is your commitment to making classical music and this love and this kindness accessible to all. And I wonder if you can speak for a moment about something that you mentioned to me earlier on in this year, and that is that classical music without education can't continue the relevance that it should have, and how you see yourself in that puzzle as helping to continue the relevance and impact of classical music for everyone.
Right. So, yeah, so we have this, I think as a society, we understand that music is incredibly important for development, right? And we use a bunch of things to say why we should teach music, right? Oh, well, it's great for math and it's great for this. And all those things are actually true, but music is great for itself on its own reasons. And it's important. And not only that, all art is important for people to feel connected to the world, to feel like their voice is being heard when they can't express themselves in other ways. There's possibility that you may be able to express yourself absolutely beautiful in other subjects or other areas, but there are some of us who just feel that this is for us. And intrinsically, a lot of people feel this way. And it's okay, in addition to the other things that they do, which is why I wanted to film in here, to show that I also have other passions and other things that I do that are creative in nature, or sometimes not. And so there's a disconnect. We know that music education is really important. So we're doing everything we can to put in programming in K through 12 sphere. But then what happens after 12th grade? Really, what happens? And it's not that we're asking, it's not that I'm challenging that, everyone should go into a music career. It's not for everybody, but everyone could have a relationship with music making and creativity, or creativity and art in some way that heals them or makes them feel good about themselves and confident about themselves and untaps that kindness and that connection with the world. So the issue becomes, we have an idea that everybody should have music education, and we're working very hard to get that. There are plenty of organizations that I think are doing a beautiful job working on that. I love many of them. I have worked with many of them. Shout out to the Primavera Fund. Awesome for what you do work in Philadelphia. If you don't know, go Google it right now, because
we'll put them in the comments later.
Yeah, they're awesome. So it's helping students get to that next point. What ends up happening is you get to the end of 12th grade, you played this instrument, you've done many things, but if you're a kid like me, and when I say like me, I was a city kid, I still live in Philadelphia, I had no funding, I had to go to school on loans, I had a single mom, I was homeless at times, I was living as a latchkey kid. I got very lucky that that people pushed for me and that opportunities were open. The problem is those opportunities are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And what do we do with those kids who are not a part of a class, who are able to then take the next leap into conservatory or into a personal relationship with music as a minor, or something that doesn't involve necessarily going to school for music, but keeping it as a lifelong learner in your life? And part of that has to do with this idea that, okay, cool, music is for everybody as long as you're under 18. It isn't for anybody when you're older, because then you're just that's for the professionals, and then there's a sphere of the amateurs. Leave them over there. And my thing is, maybe we need to be a little more culturally and a little more exclusive or inclusive. I don't mean that we should be spreading things around. I just mean we need more opportunities for everyone. To be, and more opportunities to reach in. There needs to be different levels of things. And this idea that one should be completely perfect at all times is not possible. And I that is not to say that a high level of standard is not to be expected. It needs to be. And that rigor in your education is important. But do we have to have all those things and also be mean about it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, basically it's about widening the circle and creating multiple entry points that aren't exclusive to an age or socioeconomic status.
Yes, thank you. You're we're wonderful for
But you're the one who's doing it. I can describe it, but you're the one who's actually out there doing it. And
the power of your words.
I'm just so impressed and so in love with what you're doing. And that leads me to our final question for today's interview, Christine. What would you say to a woman who is struggling to claim her voice, claim her space, and really use her voice with a greater degree of visibility in the world?
Your kindness is so powerful. Your talent there's no question about your talent, right? Your talent is there. Your background is there. Your fierceness when handling what you do is there. Your kindness is not. You have to do everything with kindness. Don't hurt others for your own personal gain. That's the old way. really. That's the old way. We don't have to do this. It's not something that has to be the way it is. You are not powerful and great because you are mean. And you're not mean because you're powerful and great. You can be kind, powerful, great, accomplished, all of these things and still be kind. You are in a position of power to use your voice because so many people came before us to make that possible. Please don't use it to hurt others. Please just don't. There's a way to tell someone, again, going back to teaching high school, I had to correct a lot of things. A lot of things. I was charged with a lot of things, and I know you were too. And you could either say, what the hell are you doing? Or you could say, hey, what went wrong there? What can we do to make that better? You can also say to a kid, yeah, you know what? Or even an adult or a friend or a colleague. Yeah, you're really struggling with that rhythm. You're not really good at it. No, how about, I can see you're really struggling with that. That rhythm's really hard. It sucks for me too. This is what I do to help. Do you think this might help you? Wouldn't that be so much nicer than saying, like, going in the back room and talking about somebody else?
Right. So you're basically a revolutionary, not only in the world of classical music, but in the world of changing the tenor of our culture, towards shifting towards kindness and away from the might equals right, kind of mentality. I got that from T.H. White and the Once and Future King. I can't claim that's mine. But,
it's one of those things, like, I just, power to me for a long time meant pain and hurting others to get there. That's all I was taught. That's
the paradigm that we were surrounded with. Yeah.
Oh. And I'm here to tell you it's funny because I have a radical idea. I try to say, my name is Christine Mello and I have a radical idea. You don't have to be mean to other people in order to be successful. Except it's not a radical idea. We've been teaching kids this since they were little. But what happens after high school that we say, that's just what we told you, to be kind to each other when you were kids. Now it's time to be cutthroat. You don't have to be that. You can be powerful in all the things and excellent at what you do and respected and still a decent person.
That's such a great point, because I think we sometimes set up this dichotomy between the values and the arts and the softer side of life in education years. And then we say, okay, now you're in the real world. Forget all about that and just step over the next person, join the rat race. And it's just such a disconnect.
Climb. And it doesn't matter who you step on the way up.
And our challenge is to pull those values and the power of the arts and of self-expression and of kindness throughout all of life. And that's what integrity is. It's consistency of action and belief.
Yeah. Everybody is dealing with something. We all know this. I'm only saying what we already know. Everybody's dealing with something. Everybody is broken in some way. And through the job you are called to do, that includes if you work data entry, if you work as a public servant, if you work as a teacher, if you work with animals, you work with any job that you have to approach it from a place of, I'm here to do a job that helps make other people, lifts other people up. And in some way you are. Doesn't matter what job you're doing a job that helps other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, assuming that job is coming from a place of goodness. But
we'll leave the criminal element out of the equation for a moment.
Give an honest job. But you're just being a general human being, you're charged with seeing the light in other people and respecting and bowing to that and giving your talents to helping that person achieve their dreams. Because I promise in doing that, you're going to achieve yours too. There's room. There's room.
I love that. It's so antithetical to so much of what we're used to in our society, but it's really true that there is enough out there for all of us. And I thank you for really shedding light on that idea. Christine, where can people find you? How can they follow you? Tell us if there's anything you have going on that you want people to be aware of. And whatever you say now, I will, after the production, put in the comments so people can follow links.
Awesome. So currently, right now, I am a professor of, I'm one faculty professor, teach musicology and cello at Eastern University of Pennsylvania. Yes, come and see us. We're doing a lot of great stuff there. Dream, believe, achieve. That's what we're all about. And that's my tag. That's our tagline, because we can dream, believe, and achieve for everyone. Love it. I'm also starting a recital series where I'll be traveling around with pianist Laura Hannigan. Love her. And we're doing an intimate recital series in various locations. And it's about learning, feeling, and thinking. And, you laugh, you cry, you learn a little. It's great. You have a little bit of candy. It's like wonderful. And our first series will be with my transcriptions on Schubert and his leader or his song cycle, Venturiza. And we're hoping to look at Fauré for next year, or Lily Boulanger. I would love to do that, or love to do her work to celebrate 1920 and the ratification of the 19th Amendment. So that's what I'm doing next year. Right currently, I'm playing Mary Poppins at the Leavoy Theater. Yay! I love
That's awesome.
Theater. I love playing musical theater. I'm trained classical, but I love theater as well. Then the next week, I start a tour with the Delaware Valley Choral Society playing Bach's Walk It Off.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google that before I put it in the notes.
And then I play Messiah because it's the season. And from there, next year I have already on the books, if you want, I'm playing West Side Story at the Leavoy. I'm playing Elf. I'm playing, oh my goodness, I have so many things coming up. And it's going to be truly wonderful, both classical and not. So it's just really exciting.
Yeah, you have such a mix. Do you have a website where your upcoming dates are listed?
Yes. Best place to find me is on Instagram at cmello cello, CMELLO cello. That's where everything. If you just follow Instagram, you'll see my website is Christine Mello cellist.com. ChristineMello.com. Woo, my bad. ChristineMello.com.
No worries. We'll put the link in.
I appreciate it. And there, it really does just bring you back to Instagram and see. It's where I post most of my things, most of my videos, most of where I'm at. So you can check out there. And just, if you want to say hi, just reach out. You want to talk about kindness and being whatever, or you want to just lay something on me, go ahead. Talk to me. Reach out.
Well, I can vouch that you are a great conversationalist and also really walk the talk. This is not just lip service to these concepts. This is the way that you live your life. And I'm very graced, and our audience is very graced by your presence with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this series, because I think it's really important and really great. And I'm not saying that because I'm here talking to you and I have a platform to be seen. Really, what you're doing, it's really important because it's bringing to light a lot of the really great ideas in this time of pivotal change that we're participating in.
What a blessing to be alive in this time and to be able to be a part of this groundswell of kindness and change towards something better and a little higher, I think, and the greater incorporation of integrity into our society and beauty.
That's the one. It's about integrity at the end of the day. It's not just kindness seems like a fluffy word. It's about integrity and respect and seeing the light in others.
Can't think of a better way to bring our episode to a conclusion. Christine, thank you so much for being here with us. And
thank you.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of The Power of Women Using Their Voices. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.